Hi everyone, I'm Tom and today I'm going to be showing you Buru, which is a game of expanding and trading across the island of Buru, where we are trying to be the most prestigious, really, by exploring, trading, and honouring the spirits of the island. This is on Kickstarter right now. I'll put a link to the campaign page in the description and the corner of the screen. You can click that and see all of the final stuff, because this is all prototype materials, but it should give you a very good idea of what the final thing will look like. But be able to see, it'll be cutouts for player boards rather than a square and stuff, and these are 3D printed spirits, but again, should give you a great idea of what the final thing will be like. So I've got the game set up for a 2-player game here. There are 5 rounds. At the start of a round, we have the Dawn phase, where we find out 2 decrees from the deck. I've already done that here. They will either tell you about regions or spirit altars. Now, if it's a place, it means if you triumph in that location, and you'll see that shortly, you gain the bonus that's on the tile, and if it's a spirit altar, then you will gain that bonus anytime you honour that spirit this round. Then we have the morning phase, where we'll take it in turn to play our explorers. Now, our explorers are not just workers, they have numbers on them, and these are going to determine our majorities, basically, at locations. You'll place them out one at a time in locations. You can play to the same location more than once, still just one at a time. So you might not necessarily visit all 4 locations every round if there's something you desperately want at a particular location, because the total number of your explorers, once we reveal them later, is going to determine the player order for each of these locations, and it can be vital going first. So if I can see in the forest there is only 1 card that's got 3 resources on it, and I really need some resources to pay tribute to a god, or to activate a particular worker that I'm getting, or I just want to start the game off with a lot of resources, so maybe I would go in really heavy on that and play my 5 face down so nobody else knows what I've played, and then one at a time we would play out our explorers to these locations based on what we want to do the most until we've each only got 1 explorer left. Next is the noon phase, where every player's explorer that's left behind will fish to feed the rest of the party. So you reveal the explorer that you kept back and gain that many fish. Then we have the afternoon, where we reveal our explorers and work out who is going to go first. So here in the forest, I played my 5. And let's say Marty just played a 1 there. He wasn't too bothered about where he went. Now, the person with the greatest power is triumphant and wins the bonus. They gain the triumph reward for that region, and so the reward is the totem of the spirit of that region. And because the forest here has got a decree on it, I would also gain a palm resource. Then we choose actions. Starting with the triumphant player, you get to put all of your explorers on 1 of the 5 bowls and pick the action there. Now, in the forest, all of the actions are the same. Pick 1 of the cards and take all of the resources on it. So I paid dearly to go here, so I would surely take the card that's got 1 of each resource on, a palm, an ebony, and a clay, which then leaves Marty with less choice when he goes out to take as well. So he could still go for any resource, but just 1. He'll go for a palm. We're done in the forest. We discard the decree token, and we can continue on to the shore. Now, it's a tie. Ties are broken by the emissary, which I started the game as. You can change it over at the Sacred Lake. That does mean I get the spirit totem. Now, these are for rewarding you with esteem. You get esteem if those spirits are paid tribute to while you still have the totems. And esteem is the victory points of the game. So I get to choose my action first again. Over at the shore, the actions determine how many islanders you get to take, and some let you cycle the islanders. Now, there is a way of tightening the game up for lower player counts, where you basically have a spirit player and you shuffle up all of their tokens at the start of the day and put 1 in each region, and that creates some more competition for the spaces at low player counts. So now I get to pick an option, so I might as well, in case I did want to cycle any of the things, I will pick 2 islanders and then cycle. So I've only got 4 fish here. We can see straight away the palm trader that I want costs 3. So I'd have to hope that a 1-cost islander came out, but I'm going to go for the palm trader. That cost me 3 of my 4 fish. And we draw another one straight away. The potter would be great, exchanging fish for bricks or bricks for fish, but it costs 2 and I've only got 1 left. So I could do my cycle now and hope that a really cheap islander comes out. And we've actually ended up with some more expensive ones. The clay traders would work really well with the palm trader. So I have a palm for 2 clay, and I can do a clay for maybe 2 palms. I should have a cycle of these things, or some ebony. The learned priest for 5 fish that permanently gives you an ebony every time you pay tribute to that spirit. And then with second choice, Marty can still get 2. He's got 5. He hasn't got any bricks though. Maybe it would be better to just cycle and get 1. Yeah, maybe that's what he'll do. So cycle and change those islanders. And so for only 2, he could get away of getting some bricks here, exchanging fish for bricks, or the other way around if he gets a load of bricks later, and that costs him 2 fish. He's still got some left over for next round. Over here, Marty gets the spirit totem because he played more, and we actually didn't really buy many islanders over here, so we only really need to play 1 each. But again, the spirit would tighten things up here, maybe the spaces wouldn't be available. Come over and activate islanders and get fish. So you could get 1 back and activate the islander to spend 2 fish to get 2 clay, and then rotate the potter to show that the island has been used for this round. And I could still activate the palm trader and give up, say, a palm for an ebony. Now over at the Sacred Lake, you can pay tribute to the altars over here, but only Marty came here and you need 2 ebony to do the altar of Manuk, which he would get an extra point for because he's got this totem. I would get a point if he did a tribute to the other altars because I've got those totems right now. Here it's 4 bricks or 4 palms, or 2 palms, an ebony, and 3 fish. When you pay tribute, you draw the top card of their deck, and it will reward you with a certain amount of points. You also have the option of just paying tribute once and gaining the emissary token, so breaking ties, which could be very useful, but you could also come over and gain elder cards. So you draw 2 of the elder cards and keep 1, and these are basically end game scoring if you can have a certain amount of islanders of a particular type or have a load of palms at the end of the game, you can score some extra points. So you draw 2 of those and keep 1 of them. And then once we have done all of the regions, your explorers all come back, islanders reset back to their ready positions, and if this is the 5th dusk, you'll know because there are no decrees left, the game is over. Otherwise, you go on for another round. There are 5 rounds in the game, refilling the forest, recruiting more islanders, gathering resources, using their powers to pay tribute at the altars to score points, maybe piggybacking off other people's tributes if you control the particular totem. The emissary token is going to help you do that, and juggling your temporary triumph over the different areas of the board. At the end of the game, you get points for your position on the esteem track, your collected tribute cards, and the points on your elder cards. Whoever has the most esteem wins and is crowned the new governor of Buru, and that is the base game of Buru. But that's not all, because now it's time to show off the Amberlow expansion. The expansion includes components to make this a 5-player game. It does get very, very tight and competitive at 5 players, because there are only 5 spaces in these places. If you have bid the lowest in a particular region, you're going to get last pick, and so often the very worst choice out of everything that's out there. There is the Ukum module, a new spirit representing justice and order that you can pay tribute to, and also the Amberlow module with the lush volcanic island of Amberlow. There is the Ukum module that adds a new spirit to the game. You get this overlay for the board, which makes the Sacred Lakes bonus similar to the rest of the regions. Now you get a new totem rather than just an esteem for triumphing here. There is a new altar to pay tribute at. Now, since Ukum is the spirit of order and harmony, he exiles people from Buru, and so to pay tribute to him, you have to give up an islander from your tableau. There are also a new type of islander card, the Outcasts. These are the bad guys. These are pirates and smugglers and all sorts of things. They don't actually have a normal usable effect when you come to the village with them. When you activate them, they must be discarded to pay tribute to Ukum. And when they are discarded, either from you using them here, you tasking them, or normally paying tribute at the Sacred Lake, whenever you discard an outcast, you get the reward shown on the right-hand side here. And so Ukum is suddenly a way of getting rid of islanders that maybe aren't very useful to you anymore, potentially for a lot of points, and also for utilizing these new outcasts, which greatly please the spirit of order and harmony and will reward you with extra things for them. But in exchange, you don't get these ongoing benefits that you'd normally get from islanders. The other new module is Amberlow, the volcano island. Players now get an extra guide explorer and a canoe each around Amberlow. There is a new spirit, Ibu, with, of course, a new altar and some new elders and things, and a new decree. Now, you can play this on its own, or you can combine it with the Ukum module. It's up to you. So Amberlow is a new place where we can place our explorers during the game. It gets revealed and resolved after the village and before the sacred lake. We reveal the explorers and decide who wins as usual. But your power makes another kind of difference in this region because you get to move your canoe the number of spaces equal to the total value of your explorers. You don't have to move the full amount, but you have to move at least one space, and you can't go in spaces where someone else is. You immediately resolve the space where you end up, so it can be as simple as gaining some resources, gaining some fish, activating some islanders, but you can gain a tribute card from Ibu just from coming here, as well as gaining a palm. And rather than just a static amount, the cards are worth an esteem amount plus an esteem for every other one you've already got. So it's worth really, really going in on one altar if you can do that. There are also some spaces with this one on here that you can see corresponds to your guide. If you land on that space, you would gain a clay here, but also you would gain your guide for the next round, which is another value 1 explorer. Don't get them for the rest of the game, just for the next round, and you can only get them by going to certain spaces on here, or there is a particular tyrant outcast. You can gain your guide by discarding them. It means you get to place 5 explorers next round, which potentially means you could take a turn in every one of the regions if you wanted to. And just boosting your 5 by 1 can make a massive difference. And they're still all placed face down, so nobody knows whether you have placed just your new guide, your new value 1 guide, or you've placed your big 5. So there we go. I think I've shown you all of Buru there. Remember, it's on Kickstarter right now. You can click the link in the description to see all of the final stuff here, because this has all been prototype stuff. But I hope I've intrigued you about Buru. I have really enjoyed playing this prototype. The hidden values of the explorers and bidding for these locations before we even get to the worker placement part, and all the mystery that surrounds that before you get to choose your action, just works brilliantly. And just by gathering loads of resources or getting loads of islanders doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get to use all of this stuff. You've got to balance it all out. You can't recruit a load of islanders if you haven't got a load of fish to pay for them. And even if you've recruited loads of them, you can't activate them all unless you've gotten a really good position in the village. And maybe you've gathered all the resources and are going to get to pay tribute to 2 spirits this round, but maybe you don't have the totems for those spirits and you're going to be helping out other players a bit because they're going to get points every time you pay tribute as well. And, playing with the modules as well, they really shake things up. I do appreciate when games, strip it back and it's, the base game is still engaging and there's a lot going on in it, but when you add the Ukum spirit into this, the totem can be even more valuable because the tribute can happen even more often. It's only getting rid of an islander, which they don't come along that often for them to be completely disposable. It can be easier to do and can potentially happen more often because it can happen when the outcast islanders are activated in the village. They get discarded and tribute is paid, and you'll get the bonus point as if they'd come to the sacred lake to do it. It's this lovely race of trying to get the right combinations of resources to satisfy the right spirits at the right time, using a load of different powers from the islanders, and shooting for endgame goals just with the base game's elders for endgame points from there. Or do you play it with everything turned on and you really, really focus on Amberlo, just going around and around here, unlocking your guide all the time so you've got an extra action every round potentially, or extra power to try and be triumphant in a particular region, or just try and gather loads of tribute cards by just racing around and around here, because if you do that, they all get more powerful. Every one you get makes all your others worth 1 more point at the end of the game. And on top of all of that, I know it's just a prototype and these are 3D printed things and stuff, but even from the prototype, it's a really impressive prototype. I think it shows that this is going to be a beautiful game. I mentioned, I think, in the coming up video that Crafty Games had published Dollars to Donuts that I covered last year, and while a very different game and a very different art style and stuff, I think similarly there was already a great attention to detail and a absolutely beautiful art style that worked for the game fantastically. And I think just from this, Buru is going to follow the same path, and I can't wait to see how all of this is going to come together in its final form, because as I said, just from a prototype, just from the cut up cardboard pieces, I am really impressed and really excited. But we've got to end it there. The prototype has got to go on to someone else. But luckily, we've had this time together. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll check Buru out if you did. You can also see more videos that I did. The Dollars to Donuts one. There are like 450 playthroughs on this channel that you can watch. Subscribe and that. Tell people about it. Do what you like though, really, as long as it's nice. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you for the next game. Bye, everyone.